Oh, welcome to another episode of Carlisle Speaks Wall Street. It's been a long weekend. For those of you guys that follow me on my other channel, Fixed Protocol, Carlisle Speaks Wall Street, you'll know that I worked on, it was 11:30 p.m., like 2:30 in the morning. I didn't get much sleep. Then on Saturday, I woke up so late, did some coding, I went to bed super late again, and then kind of did the same thing again last night. So, really exhausted. So, excuse me if I'm not my normal chipper. Whoa. Anyway, so today, let's talk about a little tip that I want to give you guys. So some of you guys know that I've been working on some code that's supposed to do a check to make sure certain systems are up in the morning. And it checks logs. It also checks for processes that they're running and some other things that it does. It kind of gives you an alert whether there's problems, and otherwise lets you know everything is good. Now, here's a problem that I ran into. So I did not want to use a cron job yet while I'm still in the development phase. So I developed my own sort of pseudo cron, which was basically a timer script that I created. So you'll see I did some videos talking about dealing with passage of time and calculating time differences and things like that. So that's what that was relevant to. So there's a larger perspective that I'm looking at in terms of working with time, but I utilized some of that information to create something just on the fly really quickly. This was late Friday night. I was like, okay, let me create something that's going to do like a timer, so I can trigger this because basically what what I'm creating, what it does is it actually sends out an email with a sort of a status report and will alert you if there's problems. So here's the thing. One of the things I set up in the code was that it's got a timer. There's a timer mathematics in there where it's counting minutes by, what is it doing? It's counting minutes by counting, I believe, seconds. I think I did it every 60 seconds, it's going to add a 1 minute. So it's every second it goes 1, 2, 3. When it hits 60, it says, okay, another minute has passed by. Now, I added into the logic some, basically I wanted to keep tabs on the script throughout the weekend without actually having to log into the servers and all this kind of stuff. I wanted the script to kind of give me a status update as far as the timer countdown, as far as it being active. So kind of a heartbeat. I wanted to create a sort of a heartbeat report, let's call it that. So basically, I set it for every 100th interval, send an email letting me know that you're still running, let me know how much passage of time you have tracked, and how much time is left until you trigger the event, which is to send out the report. So every 100 minutes, it's supposed to send this email out. So all weekend, every 100 minutes, sure enough, just under 2 hours, I got an email out. Hey, I'm still running. This is how many minutes have passed by. This is how many minutes are left. All right, cool, awesome. This went on through most of Saturday, I think. I think it was late Saturday, I believe. Late Saturday, I believe, I got the last email. And I said, what's going on? Why am I not getting any emails? Now, I think what I told you before is a little bit inaccurate. It wasn't programmed to send me an email every 100 minutes. It was programmed using a regular expression to send me an email whenever the elapsed time was at a value that was in the hundredths. So 100, 200, 300. So basically I would have said, as my regular expression in brackets, I would have said zero. No, I don't think I would have put zero. Zero wouldn't make any sense there as the first digit. So it would have been like 1 through 9, right, in brackets, square brackets, and then I would put 0, 0. So whenever the value of how many minutes has gone by is equivalent to a number beginning with 1 through 9 and ending in 2 zeros, send me an email. Now let's see how sharp some of you guys are. Maybe some of you can figure out the problem already. This is what I'm talking about when we say extrapolation. What is extrapolation? Extrapolation is really, I believe, coming from a mathematical term, which has to do with an assumption based on current trends. Current trends of something that you're observing, you make an assumption that those trends will continue. And therefore, if those trends continue, you sort of project where things are headed. So if you are looking at a series of numbers and you see 2, 4, 6, right? You can extrapolate, 8, 10, what's going to come, right? You can look at it and see a pattern, it's multiples of 2. So, the 100th iteration of this, it's going to be at, whatever, multiplied by 2, right? So basically you're looking at a pattern, and based on that pattern, you're projecting what's going to happen in the future, right? Before it actually happens, you can kind of look forward. Very important thing to do when you're writing your programs and when you're coding. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble. Now, I made a mistake, and this is due to my lack of extrapolating properly what the implications of my code was going forward. And one of the reasons for that, I'm sure, it was really late at night. I was tired. I'm going to blame it on that. Either that, or I'm going to blame it on the rain. Oh man, Milli Vanilli. Yeah. So, but bottom line is, I should have extrapolated the problem. Basically, for those of you that haven't figured it out yet, basically, so you're doing it with, let's go on the board. Let me show you. Let's show you what we're talking about here. It's real simple. So you're saying every time with your regular expression, every time you have counted to a value equivalent to the regular expression, in brackets, 1 through 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, I think you can do a dash. I think that's what I did as well. I wasn't sure. Let's just assume that's what I did and that's what's allowed. You get the point. 1 through 9 in brackets, and then 0, 0. So this is going to evaluate to the following values. Obviously, it's always going to be 0, 0, right? So you have 100, 200, 300, head to 900. Do some of you see the problem? Every time we have a value that matches our regular expression, it's going to send out an email. What happens after 900? That's the extrapolation. It was cool to think about, every 100th, I'm going to send out an email. Every time you see this value, right? Seems legit. However, the timer value was set to be we're talking about, I think the first occurrence would have been close to 24 hours. So the amount of time that it's counting to goes beyond 900. What happens after 900? Add 100 to 900, and you're going to find yourself looking at a 4-digit number. So once you go beyond 900 and you get to 1000, you can see you have a problem. Now the value of the amount of time is no longer in hundreds, it's now in thousands. This is not going to send out an email. This will not send out an email because it does not match my expression. Now, the interesting thing is I can already see an easy solution. I haven't corrected it yet, but I can see an easy solution because technically speaking, this should match my regular expression. Here we have the 1 and 2 zeros, right? But I believe logically what I must have done, not even thinking, I must have put a space behind this or something to that effect, because clearly this extra digit here was seen as a problem. It's looking for probably 100 and space. Here you have 100 and another number. So it doesn't match. And then you continue and you grow and you grow and you find that it's not matching with what I said to match with. And again, if it's set to be, 100, 200, and always ending with a space, there's always a space afterwards, you got the same problem when you get to 1100, right? So 1100, sorry, I don't know why I write 1100 with 10. 1100, I'm really tired, guys. So here you have the 100 again. And actually, technically speaking, I believe if in fact I put a space behind it, that should be a match. But the bottom line is, and we'll look at the code in a second to see exactly what happened. The bottom line is, when you're writing your code, you have to plan ahead. You cannot just sit there and be like, okay, this is good. You've got to sit and think for a second, what's going to happen if you keep doing this? Where are you headed? Where is your code taking you? What happens if, this, a lot of hypotheticals. If the user does this, if memory runs low and it starts running slow, you got to think, about things before they actually happen. To be you got to have a little bit of a crystal ball, a little bit predictive with your code. Now, let me pop out. Let's pull up the code, take a look at it, and see, figure out what happened here. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Let's share desktop. And by. All right. So here's the code. Here is not the code. I apologize. That's something else I'm testing. All right, let's give it one more try. All right, come on, Google. Come on, Google. I shouldn't be so quick to point fingers today because I know I'm so tired. All right, here we are looking at the code. Yeah. Okay, so this is the code. All right, so it's core and shell. We set the variable count to 0 in the beginning. I was clearly testing something here. But this is a positional parameter. So I believe $0 would be the name of the script. So I guess it's printing out the name of the script or the argument. I think that's actually the argument. That's the first argument. So when you type in this script and you give it an argument, when it runs, it's going to print that argument out on the screen. Then you have a while loop, while true do. So an infinite loop, it's going to keep doing forever, but you have the ability to stop it with a break, which is what I do here. So what it's doing is we're doing an if $1 is greater than 0, then I wonder if this is the latest version, because it's saying if $1 is greater than 0, and then it says echo email will be sent in certain minutes. So when you start the script, it's going to say it's going to send an email in $1 minutes, right? And then it says minutes equals $1, right? And then it's going to break. Then you have a read minutes. So ask the user, how many hours until I send email for you? So the user is supposed to say how many hours this is supposed to run. All right. Then convert hours to minutes. So this is how it converts hours to minutes. As while true do, another infinite loop, let count equal $count plus 1. All right, so we set $count, I believe, to 0. And every iteration of this loop, it's going to add 1 to it. All right, so that's what's counting up. Now, the way it counts is with the sleep. So we set sleep to 60, so that means 60 seconds. You see right here. So it's going to sleep 60 seconds, and after it says slept for 60 seconds, it's going to add 1. So that's how it's counting minutes. For every 60 seconds, that's 1 minute. So it's going to keep sleeping 60 seconds. Sleep is just waiting, it's waiting, it's waiting. After 60 seconds elapse, add 1 to that value. So that's how you're counting minutes. All right. Then you have this logic. So here it is. Here is how it was done. If the count, and that's it adding up, it's counting the minutes, right? If the count is equal to a number beginning with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and ending in 2 zeros, this is interesting. So there is no space after. I mean, there is a space actually. The question is, how does the shell evaluate this? I would think that it's not looking for a space in the actual string, but it is possible that it may be doing that. So maybe what needs to be done is to put this in quotes, and maybe that's all is needed to fix this problem. I don't know why I just wiped that out. Having some weird display issues. That could be the issue right there. But whenever it sees a value beginning with 1 through 9, look at the first bracket is gone too. It's a weird issue. Any digit beginning with 1 through 9, ending in 2 zeros, or the count equals 1. So that means the first iteration of this loop, it's going to send an email. So the first time you run this, it's going to send an email out right away. Then it's going to send the next email out at 100, then 200, then 300 minutes. That's how many minutes, right? So that's a logical OR. That's why we have the double pipe. So every time this condition is satisfied, it sends an email out to me, to that email address, and it's also giving me a status. It's indicating the count, so how many minutes have elapsed. So it says, let's say 100 minutes have elapsed of, obviously, $1 is a total amount of minutes, right? So $1 is total amount of minutes. So that tells me that the argument, I mean, I built this code late Friday night, so I don't remember what I did, but it looks like the argument is actually $1. So whatever you type in after the name of the script is going to be assigned to $1. So you type in this script space 10, then $1 is going to equal to 10. And that's your minutes. How many minutes is the timer for? Whatever number you typed in as an argument, $1. Right? And now we can see down here, it's indicating the total minutes. Then it also has this here where it's doing math. It's taking the minutes minus the count. So how many minutes have passed minus, how many minutes is the timer set to, total amount of minutes, minus how many minutes have gone by. That's going to give you how many minutes are left. So the way we do this with the $, the double parentheses, and then putting this map inside there, this whole thing is going to evaluate to be the number, the answer to this equation, which is minutes left. So when it prints it out, it's not going to show all this mumbo jumbo. It's actually just going to show you the value of minutes left in the sentence. And then it's going to report that a heartbeat sent to Gmail, send heartbeat to Gmail. That's going to be printed out to the user. So this stuff is going to get emailed to me, and then this is going to get printed out to the user. So you can see this in the terminal. And then finally, we see if count is equal to minutes. So you're counting minutes going by. If at any point in time the amount of minutes you've counted is equal to the amount of minutes that the timer is set to, then it's going to say sending email to the user. It's going to trigger this script, which is basically a script that converts the report that I'm generating into HTML, the HTML email. It's going to touch this file, $0.log. So it's basically creating this file that is the same name as the script. So now that's confirming. $0, the positional parameter, is equivalent to the name of the script. So touch name of the script.log. So I'm creating a log file basically for the script. And I'm naming it the script name.log. Then it's going to say to the user, mail was just sent out at, and it's going to print the date. This is the result of typing date at the command prompt, is what's going to be put here. And that's going to be appended to that log file that was created. Right? So we're doing the touching so we can make sure that a log exists. That's why we did that. If there was no log there, we could possibly generate errors. But here, by touching it, if it's not there, it's going to create it. If it's there, it's just going to modify the timestamp on the file. But either way, the file will always be there, and it's going to append, not insert into. It's not going to delete anything, just going to add to. And then once you do that, you're going to break the loop, and that's it. By breaking the loop, that's it. It's not going to do anything else. It's not going to continue, counting or anything. It's just going to stop right there. Basically how that code works. And I am out of time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Sorry for the low energy. I drank my coffee, but it's only so much coffee can do for you. Let's just say I cannot wait till the day's over to get home. I am right now dreaming of a Christmas, but a comfortable bed and a pillow. Ooh, man. I should have probably taken a nap in my lunch break instead of doing this live stream, but I'm trying to stay consistent with delivering the content to you guys. Hope you guys appreciate it, and you can show that appreciation by clicking on the like button. I really appreciate it. A lot more content coming up, more energetic in the future. But anyway, I gotta go, guys. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we both get some good sleep tonight, because I know I need it. All right, guys, this is Computer Programming University. Remember, these are only little bits and pieces. If you want to learn a lot more, then I recommend you take my coding courses, take my UNIX course, and really learn the full picture of what is possible. Very powerful skills, and definitely you can make a lot of money. So anyway, thanks guys, and until the next stream.